What's going on, everyone? So this is the third installment of the training splits and principles as a advanced lifter. So first of all, I would describe an advanced lifter as someone who's been lifting weights continuously in fairly kind of good frequency and consistency for about 7 or so years. Okay, this is someone who's got a very good muscle mind connection, is fully aware of what amount of exercises suits their body type, their engagement, their training, and so on. It's someone who is very in tune with how their body reacts with certain things and what works and what doesn't. So on the back of that, I would say this is where intensity starts to play a bit more of an important role due to the level of time you've been training and your body has become acclimatized to a lot of the different training stimuluses, that it's not just a case of volume that's going to do the trick. So intensity does start to creep in and play a more critical role in your training from week to week. As a result, then, that once intensity increases, obviously volume can be reduced to a fair extent depending on the intensity that you've chosen to follow. So this is where, single day splits can possibly take precedence. So, you remember the chest day, the back day, shoulders, arms, and so on, each muscle group having their own individual day. This can play a bit more of an important role than if you're a beginner or if you're an intermediate lifter. Purely for the fact of is that you can put that bit more intense, hard amount of work in on those individual days, and the experience you've gathered along the years of your training and fitness journey, that it gives you a far greater in tune, in-depth connection with your body. I would say the people who benefit the most from single body split days are people who are advanced lifters, but also people who use performance enhancing drugs. The reason for this is when you take performance enhancing drugs like testosterone, for example, that your body's production of protein synthesis stays very high when you're on these particular hormones, because that's what the hormones do. And as a result, when you haven't trained that muscle as a natural, after sort of anywhere between 12 and 72 hours, your body will stop the growth messages to the muscle you've worked. So there's no benefit after 72 hours of continuing not to train it. You may as well train it again after that 72-hour window to get the most amount of messages to that body part. Whereas if you're on performance enhancing drugs, or as well as being a long-term trainer, that you tend to find that protein synthesis drops off far quicker, but then by using the drugs it will remain far higher, purely from a synthetic standing point. So that's the main reason I would bring in a single body part split over the week, or the bro split, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really work too well for any other kind of trainer or lifter other than someone who's an advanced trainer who also uses performance enhancing drugs. Myself, I tend to gravitate a lot more towards upper and lower body splits, and I also tend to gravitate more to legs push-pull splits, because I'm still getting in 2 lots of frequency a week at least, and I feel like that gives me around about the right set amounts for me to hit the kind of growth window my body wants to respond from. And also the workouts aren't so long and so kind of repetitive that I feel like there's a good difference in them. It still keeps it interesting, it still keeps it fun. So yeah, as an advanced lifter, especially people who aren't taking drugs, focus on still upper body, lower body split, legs push pull. But then what you can do in between that is phase that training modality. So for example, over 9 weeks, so the first 3 weeks you're going to focus on heavy compound lifts only, real heavy weight. So you're looking at anywhere over your 75 to 95 1 rep max, and you're looking at working in 5s, 3s and 1s. So essentially you're kind of doing a lot more of like a powerlifting basis. Pick 3 big exercises, just for example. So say you're doing a full body routine. So on the Monday and Wednesday and Friday you're going to train, and then on the Monday you're going to do barbell back squats, you're going to do bent over rows, and then you're going to do barbell bench press. 5 sets in each of those exercises, boom, done, get out. Nice long rests in between each set, focusing on the overload kind of system, just ensuring that your technique and form is good also. Wednesday, you hit then say deadlifts, overhead standing press, and I don't know, say weighted pull-ups. You know, just for argument's sake. So then for 3 weeks, you're kind of following these big, large, heavy exercises, just putting on as much strength as you possibly can within that 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. Then after that time, then you want to focus on your typical hypertrophy or bodybuilding phase. So you're not looking to lift up a certain amount of weight, you're not looking to do a certain amount of reps. It's all about having that squeeze, keeping the tension on the muscle, not going to fatigue. You're always going to leave 1, maybe 2 reps left in the tank. Okay, you don't want to go to complete failure, as it will affect your nervous system to the point where then your nervous system won't recover, and if your nerves aren't firing correctly, your muscles won't work properly. So then when I switch to the kind of more bodybuilding style of training, then I will do a lower body, upper body, twice a week split. So on the Monday, for example, which will be lower body, I'll do, you know, calves, squats, good mornings, RDLs, leg extensions, just for argument's sake. So then on a Tuesday, you can say, right, it's upper body day, so I'm going to start off with bench press, then go on to seated shoulder press, supersetted with side lateral raise, and then some back exercises like lat pull downs, close handle cable rows, and just finish off with some arm exercises. So then you're doing a typical bodybuilder system of you're focusing on the time and the tension and the amount of time that you're underneath that weight. So you want each set you perform to last for at least 30 seconds and no longer than about 1 minute and 5 seconds. Between that time period is your, you know, kind of growth window, and that's where your body will be eliciting and sending most of those messages to help you perform and develop the typical oversized mass you're looking for. And then on the third phase, so in the last 3 or 4 weeks, focus on just complete high volume, very minimal rest periods, focusing on just pushing as much blood into those muscles as possible. The pump is the aim in these workouts, okay? So you're doing very submaximal loads, you're doing a high number of reps, so between 12 and 20 reps, and you try doing 20 reps of squats with an okay weight, or even just try squatting your current body weight. So if you're 90 kilos in body weight, put 90 kilos on the bar and try and do 20 reps of squats, so 3 or 4 sets. It's going to be difficult. Your legs are going to feel humongous. They're going to just really blow up. Same with everything else. You want to just focus on the connection still being good and feeling the muscle work, but then prioritizing the amount of times you lift it for, not the amount of weight you're lifting for. So this is a very good way that you can adapt these systems to perform more for you as an over-experienced lifter, i.e. 7 years and onwards, okay? I hope this helps, guys. If there's any further questions or any kind of further topics or problems that I can answer, please email me at www.animalperformance.co.uk. Just go to the website, you'll be able to chase up and follow our connection page, and you'll be able to email us questions directly that we're more than happy to address on the channel. We really appreciate all you guys just giving it a watch. If you can give us a thumbs up, recommend our channel, subscribe, it'll just keep on growing this channel. The more information we can get out there, making people's progress and results of a realistic nature, and not trying to push some bullshit down your throat that's trying to make us money and not give a fuck about the results you have, then follow us, guys. We're never going to lead you astray. We're always going to give you the correct and proper informed information. So once again, guys, thank you so much for following the channel, and I hope to speak to you very shortly.